Hello, welcome to Todd Miller TV. I wanted to share a couple things that I read today online about new home buying. And when I say new home, I mean people buying homes. So the first one is that they did a poll of people and 20% of them stated they were going to buy a house this year. So traditionally, every year, 5% of all people buy a house. That's the sort of running number. That's about what we experienced last year in Las Vegas. 20%, I don't really think 20% of people are going to buy homes. I think 20% of people would like to buy a house in the next year, and sometimes people say they are, but it takes them a couple years to do that. So that to me is very optimistic if 20% are looking to buy, and I think the reason they're doing it is because it was just announced that affordability was at a 30-year high. So you got affordability at a 30-year high, economy's starting to come back, jobs are starting to come back. So I think this is a great time for people that are looking to buy. It's kind of hard to go wrong right now, especially after what happened the last few years. The second thing that I read was really interesting. This really sort of caught me. It surprised me a little bit because statistically, 25% of all people state that they're just lifetime renters. They're never going to own a home, and that's sort of this running thing. But the last time they polled renters, 85% of them, this is across the nation, 85% of renters stated someday they wanted to own a home. And I just think that's incredible that if 85% of renters were converted to homeowners, our ownership percentage in the country would be about 90%. Because we already have about 55 or 60% of people who are living in a house are owners of it, and the rest are all investors. So I just thought that was very interesting. We've had the opportunity here in the last month to help two people who've never bought a house into a house for the first time and kind of take them through the process. And that's kind of exciting for me to see that happen, especially since affordability is so low and people are buying a house and their monthly payment on the house is much less than they were paying in rent. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so 85% number I think is very intriguing. It's something I'm definitely going to be, moving forward, talking to investors who are buying houses. I think it's a good number for them to know because there's a huge opportunity, I think, to groom that renter into buying the house at some point in the future. And even if that person can't qualify for a loan, sometimes owner financing might be something that people start looking at and start doing. But I think lending requirements and lending limits are going to lift a little bit. It'll be easier. So anyway, just want to share those two things. The reason is because that stuff is called optimism. And when you have optimism, you tend to have things are getting better. So people, if you'd asked people 3 years ago, it would be bad, bad, bad. But if you're asking people now, they're optimistic. So what that means to me is that's a leading indicator for what's going to happen in the future, which is why a lot of you have called me and said you want to start buying investment properties. And it's fine. There's still deals. We can still make it happen. But I just want to share that because we see these things, and then you're going to be watching this in 6 months, and I'm going to say same thing I said 6 months ago. Home prices will be more in Las Vegas in 6 months than they were today. And if you go back on my blog 6 months ago when everybody was saying that the market was going to tank and it was going to be bad again, all these REOs, shadow inventory, blah, 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 that actually the home prices are up. So I predict, based on all this I've heard and what we're seeing every day, we got 6 more months at least, home prices are going to keep going up. Who knows after that? I don't know. I don't predict long term, but I just know right now it's great. And I'm very excited to be helping people buy investment homes and manage them and everything. So anyway, thought I'd share that with you, a little insight maybe. That is my update for today, and hope to see you on another video. Thanks.